doing a little lunchtime video just after the press conference, just to keep you a little bit up to date on what's going on now with finally a game of football, finally a Liverpool game anyway. This weekend, I'm joined by my mate Paul Hogan, who was elite level footballer himself, so he'd be able to give us a lot of insight into things going on more than us. We're not very good, to be honest with you, but Paul was great. It is day anyway.
You only say that because I played with you, aren't you?
Yeah, it was all comparative. It was all comparative. He just had a press conference. One of the things he was asked about was Lallana. Lallana's hobbled off injured the other night for England. It looks like the injury's not too bad, but it looks like the Saturday game's going to be a little bit too soon for him. How much do you think Liverpool will miss him, or do you think it's just a case of where you just pick Emre Can and Wijnaldum and we'll be fine?
I think more than ever, Lallana's become key to what we do. Dropping into that position, playing a little bit deeper. I think he's become that player for us that links the midfield with the attack. So I think he's a big miss, but I think more than ever we're capable of dealing with that miss. And I think Wijnaldum is a sort of perfect fit. Really
perfect fit. I think he's been at Melwood all week. I think Holland's last game was at the weekend. I know Emre Can didn't go away with Germany at all. So you think there should be kind of a freshness there as well. So it could work pretty well. I wonder as well whether it's because it's going back to Southampton. That's another reason why they maybe think, we'll maybe just leave it, because I know for him and particularly for Lovren, I mean, Lovren got hooked last year. They've struggled a little bit going back there. There's a little bit of bitterness towards them just because I think how many Southampton players it's tough. And maybe they're just thinking, if it is touch and go, maybe it's not a bad one to leave Lallana out for.
Yeah, and he's the type of player who does push it as well, isn't he? He's not a player who can sort of hold himself back in a game. He's 100% right the way through the game. So I think,
yourself.
Yeah, exactly like myself. For the first 5 minutes until I can't breathe no more. But so I think that for me is like he's important, but for the first time in a long time, it's been sort of there's no player bigger than the team.
I'm with you. I think he'll go Sean Wijnaldum, and I'm not too kind of worried about that. It'd be interesting what he does as centre half. I've been chatting to Neil a bit in the office, and he's been talking about Dejan Lovren, about he obviously missed the game just before the break, and he had a real tough time at Southampton last year, and he's the one they give more stick than any of the Southampton players that we've took on them, and there is a lot. So you just wonder whether he might be a little bit tempted to throw Lucas in again, and because he did pretty well, and maybe be a little bit tempted to do that. We'll sort of have to wait and see on that one, really. I'm sure Neil will be talking about it in the shows he's doing. We've got the Friday show will be going out first thing in the morning, and the City Talk show later. So later that evening. So loads of, I can't really talk today, I'm struggling. Loads of preview stuff between now and the weekend. Focusing on that. The other thing that he was asked about was Coutinho. Obviously, there's been a little bit in the press this week about Coutinho might be going to Barcelona. There's a few ex-Liverpool players who've said, they might struggle to keep hold of him. There's a couple of Barcelona players who've done the old, he's a great player, but we don't really want to talk about it. But I think he'd do really well here, but I don't want to talk about it. That sort of thing. I think Klopp was very good on it in the press conference. He basically said, you can't force anyone to stay. What you do is you create an environment where a player wants to play football, and I think that's all a football club can do in a modern age, isn't it? It's like, you try and convince Phil Coutinho that everything he wants to achieve at a football club he can do here at Liverpool, and we are doing that at the moment. We've created an environment for him where he's playing very, very well. We're top of the league, and so we're doing all the right things to keep Phil Coutinho.
No, I totally agree. There was a while back there before Klopp came where you started to look at Coutinho. He didn't look like he was enjoying his football so much. And then there was
he was trying to throw free balls to Ricky Lambert.
There was literally no movement in front of him. I've always said Coutinho's a player who needs that movement in front of him. He's as good as the movement around him in a way. I think the interesting one with Coutinho as well is everyone thought Coutinho would eventually be in the Lallana position, if you like, but he seems to be more comfortable, and Liverpool are certainly a better team with him higher up the pitch.
Well, Klopp hasn't shown that much interest in playing him deep, has he? No. He played quite deep under Rodgers. I know there's a few of the guys in the office with a big fan of moving Coutinho deeper, but Klopp has never seemed that interested. He did a half against Swansea, I think, didn't he, when Lallana went off injured, but generally speaking, he's wanted him as high up the pitch as possible.
And Coutinho seems to enjoy that. At one point, it felt like Coutinho didn't want to be in them positions. Now he seems more comfortable in them positions.
Certainly does. He mentioned his Brazilian mate Firmino. There's a kind of nice line from the press conference where Klopp says basically Firmino can't get in the Brazil team, then he must be the favourites for the next World Cup, which is quite a good line, the way he says it, but also a nice line to kind of boost it up Firmino a bit, who might be feeling a bit down coming back, having not played coming back, he gets a boost from his manager, so it's clever and funny, but it's also nice for us, isn't it? Because these Brazilian lads, they've had the biggest travel in terms of they've played twice, they played Wednesday, and it's a lot of air miles as well. So the fact that Firmino hasn't really played is good news generally for Liverpool, isn't it? Because you'd think he wouldn't want to leave both of them out. So this maybe gives him an opportunity to say, okay, I'll play Firmino, Mane, Sturridge, like he did against Leicester at home and we won 4-1. Whereas I'm sure he wouldn't have wanted to be able to leave both of them out, if any of them at all.
No, I agree. And you just look at Firmino at the minute, he just looks like someone who's enjoying himself, doesn't he? Every time you see him, he's got a smile on his face. You just want it. He's infectious, I think, a little bit. And I think I heard I think I'm quoting one of you guys now, but I think what you said, he's like a German without the ball and a Brazilian with the ball, and he's just. That's
a good line. It was probably me.
It was probably you. Yeah.
It don't necessarily wasn't.
It probably wasn't on one of these, though, so I might have just used it from somewhere else. But no, he just comes across as someone who's infectious on the pitch, and people follow that lead really. And I think we've got a number of players like that. I suppose it's back to the whole Suarez thing years ago, where it was that people followed Suarez. We've probably got 5 or 6 on the pitch now who people follow in the same way. They take the lead from each other.
Yeah, the idea of one person leading the press has kind of gone out really. They're all kind of on it, which is brilliant. Nice one for coming in. It was good to chat about the press conference. You also come in to talk about a new business you run, and you've got a good story. Well, I think it's a good story about why it all started and why it all begun.
Basically, I'm just an avid anything with Liverpool written on, any badge, anything that's remotely linked to Liverpool Football Club. I've wanted. So my loft is just full of memorabilia of some description, and then a few years ago, well, 12 months ago really, it became an issue with my missus, basically, where she was like, well, my loft's full, you can't buy stuff no more. And then sort of from there, a business came about, the idea of, I love this stuff and I know other people out there love this stuff. And we wanted to create something a bit unique. And really, it came about by the fact that my first game was Alan Hansen's testimonial. And I was 7 at the time. I think I'd been to a couple of reserve games before, but that was about it. Went the game, and sort of from there, I don't think I ever stopped going really. But on top of that, my granddad, I'd go round to my granddad's house, and my granddad was Billy Little mad. He's still to this day, he's got dementia, but he's still to this day, I go and see him and it's Billy Little this, Billy Little that. He's probably told me the same story 100 times, but I still love hearing about Liverpool and all of them things and what he meant to the people at the time. So basically, where it came from is I got this. I root for things basically, and this is Alan Hansen. I don't want to show the camera, but Alan Hansen testimonial lunch, signed by Alan Hansen, but also inside signed by the man himself, Billy Little. Which is a little bit unique. I don't think there's many of them.
That wasn't something you went out and got?
No. I mean, this is reasonably recently that I came across it. Yeah. Billy Little would have been passed away, unfortunately, for a substantial time afterwards. So it was just something that meant something to me. And it got me thinking more and more about the idea that, everyone loves Istanbul, everyone loves the big games that we won the FA Cup finals and all that. But sometimes it's not about that for people. The game you remember the most is sometimes Alan Hansen's testimonial, do you know what I mean? And that's where it sort of came about. So we began looking at stuff and looking at what's out there and basically started developing frames based on what I want, what I'd buy. So sometimes, there's 2 other people involved with me, my brother Daniel, who and Michael Bowyer, and sometimes I say I want to build a frame based on something and they're like, who'd want to buy that? Just me, just me. If it
doesn't sell, it goes along.
It's become a bit of a one for me, one for the business. So the loft's just getting bigger. But
it's not really solved that situation.
I really hope my missus isn't a subscriber. I feel wrong because it gives it away a little bit.
Well, this is free on the YouTube channel, I'm afraid, so she might do. But I'll just show some of the stuff you've got. This is a Ronnie Manan one. There's a really cool picture at the top here of Ronnie Manan with the managers. There's a few images. There's him leading out the FA Cup final team in 1992, which is cool. And then there's a plaque there. So I'll just say this around so everyone can see it. Hopefully you can. Sorry if if it's a little bit shiny. Is that alright, Sean? I'll get a thumbs up from Sean. So it's a really, really cool frame, really nice piece on someone brilliant in Liverpool's history, so this is a Ronnie Moran one. Anything else to say about that?
No, it was just, I love the picture at the top. It just sort of shows a different side to them.
They look like gangsters.
Yeah, it just shows a totally different side to them. And it was just, Ronnie Moran for me was one of them who just, he was my link back to the old days, if you like, because like my first game being 87, I sort of saw the end of success, but it was sort of my link back. Yeah. So that's where that came from, really.
You also brought in this one. I'm just going to put it up for comedy value, really. This is a Steven Gerrard.
This is for people with big houses.
So it's got a programme form. Is that Gerrard's first game?
Yeah.
Gerrard's last game. They're all in that. It's a signed Gerrard shirt, and then there's 3 really nice pictures of Steven Gerrard through his career, including a nice one from Istanbul. And this, I think it is. You probably can't see any of that whatsoever. You definitely can't see us, but it's absolutely huge. As Hogan says, people with big houses. I can imagine this. We're still here. I can imagine this above my fireplace in my new dining room. I'm sure my missus would absolutely love it. So we'll put links to Paul's website underneath this video. If you watch on YouTube, if you're on Facebook, it'll be on there as well. And we'll also be giving it a shout out in our weekly newsletter, which comes out on Friday. If you don't subscribe to that, by the way, you really should, because it's great. The lads put in a lot of work on it. There's some new content in there and stuff as well, and it's really, really good. So yeah, get on all that. Anything else? Oh yeah, we're giving you money off.
Yeah. There's a 10% code. I think it's Rap 10. Should really have this written down, but it's Rap 10. But we'll put the link obviously with the stuff.
So if you like any of the stuff you do want to buy, do you post everywhere?
We'll probably posting across Europe and hopefully further afield as well. We're just working on that.
So if you like any and you want to buy it, just put in code Rap 10. That's obviously with a W at the end, and you should get 10% off. Any problems, just give me a shout and I'll ring Hogan.
Thanks. Cheers.
Right,
Thank you.
See you tomorrow.
Thanks.